Today I am happy to present this tutorial because all you need to do is get this stuff right here. Some nice granulated sugar. Let me tell you right now that powdered sugar actually works better. The next thing is kind of optional here. If you want this to burn quicker, go ahead and pick up a blender as well. To make this really interesting, we've got a smaller tube we're going to fit this stuff in. We've also got a nice longer tube. Now if you compare the differences between those, one of them has a shorter ID and this one's a little bit bigger. And then next up, we've pretty much just got the same kind of tube. This tube was basically free because it came from an already lit firework, and you can see there's already the clay plug there. And then for these last two, they are completely identical. However, I have taped up where that quick fuse goes in normally on those fast fuse cakes. Now, some of you guys have asked how to make rockets before. The truth is, the only thing I'm missing is a bunch of rocket sticks, so I don't have any long enough for those tubes, so we will have to just set it on the ground. One last thing you guys will need is a scale, so go ahead and grab one if you have one. And without any further ado, I'll go ahead and get started with it. So the actual recipe you're following is this right here. It is 65 to 35 sugar by weight. The ratio simplifies down to 13:7. So that is the ratio mix we're going to do today. Now I am going to be doubling this 100 gram batch, so I'll actually be making 200 gram. To begin with, I'll start by timesing 65 by 2 and I'll add this stuff in there first. Okay guys, so now we officially have 130 grams of the KNO3. For this next step guys, I have set the NO3 aside and we're going to go ahead and do the sugar next. Because I'm doubling the batch, I will take 35 here and times it by 2, just so I know I have to add 70 in order to make a 200 gram batch now. In my opinion, sugar is the funnest part because it's just so satisfying to listen to. Who doesn't like sugar? Except in some of my videos I actually end up burning it. So in this next step, as I've explained earlier, we are going to have to blend this, so I will put the cap on and let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so right here we have the sugar officially and we are going to blend it right now. If you notice something about that guys, I was actually tipping the blender on the sides to reduce tension on the blender, and it works very nicely if you're putting very heavy loads into it. So now guys is officially the fun part. As you can see here, we have our blended sugar and it absolutely looks phenomenal. So now with 65 by 35 by weight, we will go ahead and add the sugar in there. Oh yeah, look at that. Definitely looks pretty sweet. Wouldn't you just not want to eat that? Okay guys, so now that the two chemicals are officially mixed now, we'll need to go ahead and just shake it for a good minute and be sure that those two ingredients get mixed very well. Now, it really shouldn't be hard to do that because they're already pretty fine. Of course, just be sure you do it nicely. Okay guys, so once you mix this up, you are pretty much done. That is all you really have to do. Now, choosing the right tube here, we're going to go ahead and fill these up. All I'm going to be doing is putting a small amount of masking tape over this end. So now that is officially ready to be loaded on this side right here. This is officially my favorite ingredient to be working with, mainly due to how safe it is to work with. This stuff is not RAM sensitive or shock sensitive, and if you want something that burns, it's absolutely great. So far it's going pretty okay. It could be a lot worse. If you guys notice, I placed a piece of paper down there so that anything that doesn't get inside this tube we can just simply put back in our blender. All I'm going to be doing is just taking the end of a pencil right here and I'm just going to push down all that powder as much as I can. This right here is going to work very great. Okay, now that right there is going to work really nicely. So all we'll go ahead and do is just put this little piece of tape over it, and that's it guys. This is our first little smoke flare that we have just created. And we don't need a fuse for it if it's small enough. So hopefully this will work really nicely. Oh yeah, look at that. It's just so beautiful how it goes into the tube. Sometimes guys, this can be difficult and it takes a lot of practice, but I can promise you, you definitely do get better at it. Alright, so now that that's rammed down a little bit, we can go ahead and add a little more. And there we go, just like that. So we'll go ahead and take the pencil and we'll push it down a bit more. And then once you do that, it kind of helps to tap it just so that all the powder settles in there. Once again guys, I'll just take a little piece of tape right here. I will cover up the end of the tube. And now we not only have one, but two smoke flares. One right here is going to be a little bit bigger, so it's going to be really awesome. I will be right back guys and I will finish these up. Okay guys, so if you're a little more advanced like me, I went ahead and I took 3 of these tubes here and I rammed the compositions in all 3 of them. So the way that I did that is I took a dowel and a hammer and I rammed, and then where all that clay was guys, that from before when the firework cake, I just drilled a hole and I inserted the fuse inside of it. So we have 2 larger ones to try, and then we have a smaller one. So I'll meet you guys there when we go ahead and test this. Okay guys, so we've officially got all the flares here to try. So we're gonna do the smallest one, the medium-sized one, and then these 3 have the fuses in them. And like I showed you guys, they have got the nice nozzle in them like so. We've also got a nice fire going because it is officially really, really cold, guys. All right, here goes the smaller smoke flare that we just created. Wow, look at that. That is really pretty, guys. Oh my goodness. You don't want to stand too close or else you'll get hot embers that fall on you. Wow, did you see all that smoke? That is insane. Okay guys, and next up we have the medium-sized one to try next. Let's go see how it does. Okay, medium-sized smoke flare. Here we go. Wow. Look at that. Is that not the coolest cheap firework you've ever seen? Oh my gosh, guys. Look at that. Okay, and next guys, this might be a little dangerous because this has a nozzle on it. And usually guys, anytime there is a pass fire hole that is really small, sometimes these can explode, so that's why we're gonna have to back up a bit when we light it. Okay, smoke flare with nozzle at the end of it. Oh, look at that stream of smoke, guys. That is so cool. Wow. That is it. So it did not take off the ground, which is actually really relieving. And yeah, that cardboard tube is extremely hot now. Thankfully, of course, we can just go ahead and throw it in the fire. Okay, guys, we've got 2 left, so let's go ahead and make this really quick. Okay, this time, guys, we have officially put the smoke flare with a nozzle inside the dirt a bit. And let's go ahead and see how this does. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely insane. There was officially so much pressure in that, guys. That was so cool. Look at that huge rocket booster right there that practically formated out of that. Okay, guys, and we will try the last one on its side. So maybe we can get this to take off a little bit. I'm not sure how this is going to do, but it really shouldn't take off that far. All right, let's go ahead and see what happens. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, guys. That is officially on the side and has tons of smoke. Did you guys see how cool that was when it had a nozzle on it? Oh man. So hopefully, guys, this gives you an insight for bottle rockets and how you could potentially make them with no 3+ sugar. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Remember to always be safe with fireworks. Oh, that fire is just so beautiful. Wow. Oh.